Good evening, baseball fans. How you doing? Hello, hello, hello. We are possibly near the end of the game for tonight. Dominguez could not close it out. The Phillies are currently making a pitching change, but they are 1 out away from a Game 5 victory. My goodness, the Phillies just look fantastic tonight. How we doing, everyone? How you doing? How you doing? Hello, hello. We are live to react to the end of the game here. And, hey, I'll get to the post-game recap and, let's see. Unless the Diamondbacks have another crazy comeback on their hands. The Phillies just look like how the Phillies should. They just look fantastic tonight. Offense is clicking. Great pitching from Wheeler. The perfect recipe for success in the postseason. But we're going to get into the post-game recap here shortly. Currently making a pitching change, so we will react to the end of the game here. Give some time for people to trickle on in. Not expecting a big show for tonight. We only have one game on here tonight. It's a Saturday. I know people got things going on. But I'll just do a quick recap after the game has concluded. But how you doing, everyone? How you doing? Hope everyone's having a great Saturday. Hope everyone is enjoying their day. Nicholas, thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you, my friend. Appreciate you. Nando, Bryce Harper should have been a Dodger. Fire Dave Roberts. Bryce Harper, man. Goodness, you got to think how many teams. Honestly, the Yankees, in my opinion, how did the Yankees just say no to Bryce Harper? He wanted to go to the Yankees. That is just crazy to me that the Yankees thought, oh, we got Giancarlo Stanton. Nah, we're good. We're good. How do you pass on Bryce Harper? That is just insane to me. Oscar P24, could we end up just seeing a Phillies-Astros rematch? Honestly, are these two teams just still the class of Major League Baseball? We'll have to see what the Rangers can do. I still have hopes for them in Game 6. I don't think they're done just yet. I believe in Nathan Eovaldi. But here comes Strom coming out to try and close this game. Benjamin, how you doing, my friend? How you doing? Matt, how you doing? How you doing? Welcome, everyone. Matt, Gabe Kapler close to the Red Sox? I sure hope not. For crying out loud, I hope not. Listen, I like Gabe Kapler, but I don't know. He doesn't come off to me as a guy that should be running the president of baseball operations. I don't mind him in like a coaching role or something. I don't mind him in a role, but I don't want him leading the front office. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Daniel, how you doing, my friend? How you doing? Benjamin, how you doing, my friend? All righty. So here we go. I got game day ready for all of you. Here we go. It's looking pretty unrealistic for the Diamondbacks to come back here, but it is the Diamondbacks at the end of the day, a good come-from-behind team this year. Got Corbin Carroll up at the plate. Carroll, I'll get to him in a little bit, but he has looked pretty good in this game today. I made a bet on him for underdog. I'll get to my underdog pick'ems that I made prior to the game. I'll go over those. Hopefully I can finally win myself a couple of bucks. Carroll slaps it to the right side. 0-2 count still. Can you imagine here, Carroll just completely unloads on one? Honestly, like Dominguez, what are we doing here? Dominguez, what are we doing? Come on, man. You gotta close that out. You got a 6-1 lead. You had 2 outs, and you couldn't get that game closed out? What the heck are we doing? But here we go. Matt Strom, Red Sox legend. Carroll pops it up. It looks like Ball might have a chance. Nope. Goodness. The Diamondbacks, despite being down 6-1 here, they don't let up. They do not let up at all. They do not let up at all. Everyone, while we are here, help us out with the algorithm. You all showed up so much yesterday. You all hit the crap out of that like button yesterday. I am telling you, YouTube likes the like button. We had so many likes yesterday, and the views, it translated into the views. So please help us out here. Help us out. There's a slider away. But yes, everyone, if you can, really quick for me, smash the crap out of that like button. I'm telling you, it helps with the algorithm. If you need proof, go look at the stream yesterday. That got, I think, around 350 likes yesterday, and it translated into a really good amount of views for a stream. So it really does help, I promise. And if anyone's new, subscribe if you are new. Make sure to hit the bell notification, everyone, and share the show if you can. But we are very close here. It looks like, it looks like we have a final. It's just not on my TV yet. And there we go. Strom, inside corner, got him. And the Phillies have won Game 5. They are on the brink of a second straight World Series. I mean, my goodness. This Phillies team, they're no joke. They're absolutely no joke. Like I said, it's really simple. Hit better than the other team, pitch better than the other team. That's going to translate to success. I know that sounds incredibly simple to the point where, thinking, all right, yeah, I know, Robbie, that's pretty obvious. But the Phillies are just so good at hitting better than you and pitching better than you. I mean, as silly as that might sound, they're just so good, especially in the postseason. They didn't need to be the best team in the regular season this year. They're built for the postseason. That's what matters. And it just shows in this game. Absolutely shows in this game. And the Phillies right now, they had a bit of a scare in the last couple of games. But for them to be able to win on the road, going back home, that's just huge. That's huge. And the Phillies, they're on a mission here. They're on an absolute mission to get back to the World Series and win a World Series. They wanted it last year. They ran into just a really good team in the Astros. They're on a mission here. And this is a huge win for them tonight. 6-1 final. But we are going to get into this, everyone. Hopefully we get a few more people trickle on in. I'm not expecting a big crowd tonight. Hopefully I'm wrong. But again, I hate to keep saying it, but please hit that like button for us. It really helps with the algorithm. I can't stress enough how much that helps. But let's get to it here, everyone. Let's get to just how this unfolded here today. I mean, to me, the star of the game is Zack Wheeler. I mean, what else is there to say? Postseason, it's all about pitching. It's all about pitching. And when you have your ace just on top of his game, this is what you need in the postseason. You need not just good pitching. You need your stopper. You need your guy, right? Zack Wheeler is that guy for the Phillies. He can come in and he can just pitch a dandy of a game. And then you also got Aaron Nola, who's figured it out this postseason after a very up and down season in the regular season. But this is what the best pitchers do. When you got a team like the Diamondbacks who've won a couple of straight games, building momentum, and they got one more game at home, Zack Wheeler comes in and he plays stopper. That is a huge key for any team in the postseason. You got to play stopper. That's exactly what Zack Wheeler did here tonight. Absolutely fantastic game for him tonight. I mean, I don't really know what else too much to say. When it comes to Wheeler for the night, 7 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned, 8 Ks. Gave up the homer to Alek Thomas. Alek Thomas staying hot in this postseason. That's a great sign. Even no matter what happens with the Diamondbacks in this series, I mean, Alek Thomas is looking like a star, and he is emerging in this postseason. It took him a little while. This whole season for Alek Thomas has not, the regular season did not look great, but he has looked very solid here in the last couple of games. So big props to him getting the only run here for the Diamondbacks today. But honestly, Zack Wheeler, he's the star of the show. And there were a couple of keys here for Zack Wheeler in this game. If we go take a look at the breakdown for him tonight, he really stuck to the same plan that he stuck to in game 1. Fastball heavy, throwing in a couple of sweepers, throwing in a couple of curveballs here as well. Very similar to when you look at how he looked in game 1. It's pretty much almost identical. The only difference was he threw more pitches tonight. The Diamondbacks, they worked him a little bit more. They were able to get deeper into those counts a smidge, but in the end, Zack Wheeler was just too good. I mean, when you look at the spin rates here, curveball was way up tonight. Sweeper, way up tonight. Fastball, again, it's the same percentage as it was in his first start in the series. Everything just looked absolutely crisp. I mean, he passed the eye test as well. Everything coming out of his hand just looked good. It looked unhittable. And when he gets settled in, the offense is able to do what they can do. And once again, you got the big boppers in this lineup doing their thing. Bryce Harper is, in my opinion, cementing himself as a guy that is just going to be one of those guys in the postseason. Every time he's going to make this postseason, he's just going to be so good. I mean, look at the postseason he's having. A 1.282 OPS overall, hitting 343. I mean, just a masher of a home run. Are you kidding me? Absolutely clobbered that thing. Every time Bryce Harper hits a home run It is just the most electric looking thing I have ever seen. I don't know what it is. It's just the follow through of the swing. It's just the aggressive swing. He watches it every single time. That's why I tweeted a few days ago saying, like, Bryce Harper could be the most electric player in postseason history. And what I meant by that was just, I think, looking back on that is more, it's the swagger that he has. It's just the confidence that he has. It's just every home run he hits in postseason action, it's a no-doubter. The dude is just on top of his game in the postseason. And that's what I meant. Like, when he's just, when I say, he could be one of the most, the most electric player in postseason history. I know people were coming after me at that tweet saying, hey, have you heard of David Ortiz? Yes, I've heard of David Ortiz. To me, David Ortiz is simply just legendary in the postseason. Bryce Harper is just, I don't know, the first word that comes to me is electric. I can't really, it's the swagger for him. I don't know, man. The dude is just in another place in the postseason. I can't even explain it. And speaking of guys that are just in a different place right now, Kyle Schwarber. I mean, this guy is just incredible. I mean, he did nothing in the division series. He was extremely quiet. Coming into this series, I said, I thought Kyle Schwarber was going to have a good series, and I was completely right, because it's not very often you see Schwarber down for the count for a long time, and now he has just erupted in this series. 5 homers now in this series. He's just incredible. Like, the batting average still doesn't look, too amazing, 262, but the OPS is now up above 1,000, especially, after the slow start that he's had to this postseason. I mean, that's just incredible. Turner, actually a quiet night for him tonight. He's actually had a very good postseason, but an 0-for-4 night for him. But when you got Schwarber and Harper picking up the slack, this is what makes the Phillies so good, is that you could have a guy have an off night, and then you could have, 1 or 2 other guys completely step up. JT Realmuto getting in on the action tonight. Castellanos, for the most part, a pretty quiet night overall. Marsh got a hit here tonight. He's been pretty solid in this postseason, but this is all they needed. When you got Zack Wheeler on the mound, you can do these kind of things. You can have some guys have some off nights, and this is why I'm bringing that up, because how many times have we seen pitchers, ace-level pitchers, come out, throw a dandy of a start, and the offense just goes quiet? How many times have we seen that? We have seen that plenty of times, and I think that's really impressive that the Phillies did that tonight against the Diamondbacks. Honestly, let's call it just a must-win game. To me, like, with the Diamondbacks building the momentum that they were building, I think the Phillies had to win this one here because, sure, they're going back home, yeah, but this Diamondbacks team, they were just looking hot, and they, even here at the end, they're down 6-1, and they're still putting up a bit of a fight. They're just a team that doesn't go down. So to me, if you're the Phillies and you're down 3-2 to this Diamondbacks team, I don't like being in that position, honestly. So to me, I think this was a must-win for the Phillies here. I don't care what, all the crowd and Philly and whatnot. I wanted to win this game if I'm a Phillies fan tonight, right? And it just puts you in so much of a better position, up 3-2, 2 more at home. I mean, this is a beautiful situation here for the Phillies. So, in the end, I love that the offense just stepped up tonight, right? They've been so good this postseason, but when you got your guy on the mound, the Phillies, they don't do what a lot of these teams have done in the past, where their guy's on the mound and their offense just doesn't wake up. Instead, they get comfortable when Wheeler's on the mound, and Wheeler gives them a chance to just settle in, be patient, wait for their pitch, and just play their game. And that's why the Phillies are just so good in the postseason, because these guys give the Phillies offense all the time in the world to figure it out, right? That's why they're just so hard to beat. Bryson Stott, give him a lot of credit for that play he made in the 7th inning. And this is another reason why I think this Phillies team is just so good. I've mentioned this a few times during this season. It is so vital for a team to be strong up the middle, right? Catcher, shortstop, second base, center field. Look at the Phillies right now up the middle. Look at the spine of their team right now. Amazing defensively up the middle. Sure, yeah, you got the other positions too. You got third, you got first, you got left, you got right. But when you have good defense up the middle, that usually leads to a lot of success. And the Phillies have that, and it really just shows Dave Dombrowski has just done an amazing job at putting this team together. You got the hitters that come through, right? Not just over the course of a season, but come through in those clutch moments as well for them. They got the two guys at the top of the rotation that can lead you. You got strong defense up the middle. Real Muto, Turner, Stott showing his defensive abilities tonight. Rojas out in center field, despite being a young guy. This is a really good defensive player, and I think he's going to be a special player. They're so good defensively in the spine. That goes a long way to preventing runs, right? This Phillies team is just so well built for the postseason. It's incredible how well built they are. I'm seeing some people trickling on in. Everyone, if you can, please hit that like button. I know it's annoying to keep hearing that, but please hit that for me. It really does help. I'm seeing Dylan here in the chat. Gallen has not looked good this postseason. Kevin, how you doing, my friend? But yes, Dylan, let's get to Zack Gallen here. And I stressed last night that Zack Gallen needed to be the guy here tonight. And in the end, Zack Gallen just didn't show up. You know, sure, he gave you the 6 innings. He kept you in it a bit. But you just, I don't know, there's something with Gallen right now where in the postseason, Gallen just, I don't know what it is. There's just something where I'm watching him, and he just doesn't really give me that confidence. I don't know what it is. Like, he did look really good against the Dodgers there, but against this Phillies team, this is a different challenge here. That Dodgers team, I don't know what the heck happened with that offense. They just completely fell off the face of the planet. But Gallen right now, I don't know. Like, he just doesn't look comfortable out there. He just looks almost stiff to a point. I don't know. But not a bad start for him tonight. 6 innings, 4 runs, but he gave up 2 home runs. And it's not that he just gave up the runs, but he gave up the momentum, right? And you just felt it shift. I don't know. Gallen just didn't look very good tonight. We can even go look at the numbers as well. You all know me. I'm a nerd when it comes to my numbers. But looking at Gallen here tonight, the spin was down. And I'm not surprised to see that the average of his fastball was down a smidge, just a little bit, and it looked like it. His fastball looked fat. Yeah, sure, it looked fat. It looked flat. It looked heavy. His fastball didn't look very good to me tonight. I don't know. Is that some Diamondbacks fans? What do you think? Let me know what you think. Did his fastball just not look as crisp tonight? It's just something about it, the way it was coming out of his hand. I don't know, man. I don't know. The velocity was up a little bit on average, but it just looked flat to me. I don't know. The knuckle curve, I think, just did not look good here tonight, giving up some mashed balls from that curve. He was hanging that thing a lot. He just didn't look like he had his best stuff. You know, the cutter, I think, looked pretty good tonight. Changeup, either threw a few of those as well. That looked decent. But those 2 pitches that he leans on, the fastball curve, they just didn't look very good to me. I don't know. I mean, even when you look at the swings on the fastball, you know, he only got 2 swing and misses on the fastball. On the knuckle curve, he had 8 swings overall, only 1 whiff. I mean, you gotta, with those 2 pitches, you need some more swing and misses on those. They were very hittable pitches tonight. So, in the end, you know, Gallen, he just wasn't that stopper for them. And you need to be that stopper. And that's why Zack Wheeler right now, like, Gallen is just, I don't know, I'm hoping Gallen over the next couple of years, we can see him really step up in that postseason. It almost feels like he's not quite there yet, right? While Wheeler, it feels like he's there, right? It's funny because, you know, Diamondbacks fans, I have a pretty good analogy here for you. It's almost like when you're watching Aaron Nola and Zack Wheeler pitch in this series, it almost kind of, now, I'm not comparing these two. Don't you come at me. Don't you come at me in the comments. Don't you do it. I know what people are going to do. They're going to try and get, you know, have like a gotcha kind of a moment. They're going to come at me. No, the comparison I'm about to make, they're not the same, but Curt Schilling, Randy Johnson, those 2 in 2001, two of the most amazing postseason performances in the history of the game. I'm not saying Wheeler and Nola are the level of what those 2 were doing, right? But you can see firsthand that how important that is, right? Schilling and Johnson doing it, you know, 20-something years ago, 22 years ago. You need 2 guys like that, right? If you want to get to the promised land, you need 2 guys, right? Or at least one that is just going to absolutely take over your postseason, like someone like a Madison Bumgarner. You need, in my opinion, at least one of those kind of guys. And the Diamondbacks, I think, just don't have that. And I think this offseason, I really think they need to address that. I really think they need to go hard after a guy in the postseason. I like Gallen a lot, but Gallen, to me, a lot of the times, he kind of comes off as almost like a number two. Right? Like, you want him to be a number one, but he kind of gives you sort of sometimes, at least me, maybe I'm wrong, I'm probably going to get ridiculed for it, but he comes off almost like a number two to me. All right? And that's no disrespect. Gallen's an awesome pitcher. He was so good this year. He's one of the top pitchers in the game. But I'm talking about postseason action. Postseason action, right? He gives me like number two vibes. I'd be so good with him in a game two. But I feel like they need like that game one kind of guy, right? Like that Zack Wheeler kind of a guy, right? It feels like they're missing that. Maybe I'm wrong. I know. King Yellow Man, I know. I'm going to get ridiculed for that comment probably. I'm going to get blasted for that. I'm not saying Zack Gallen is a number two, but I think in the postseason, I feel like he needs someone with him, right? It's almost kind of, right now at least, I don't see Zack Gallen as a guy that really can carry the load, right? He's just not there yet. I think they need someone else. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Anyway, but moving on here. Phillies 31-59. Hey, that's a good segue. Let's talk about Game 6. So, Aaron Nola is on quite the run right now. He's on quite the run. 3-0 in this postseason. ERA under a 1 is 0.96 ERA. He's going up against Merrill Kelly, so he'll be back in Philly for the second time. Is it just me, or does it feel like this series is over? It just almost feels like it, right? They're going back home. Kelly's got to go up against that crowd one more time. It just feels like it's over, but I'm not going to say it's over just yet. But to answer your question, Phillies 31-59, I think he does. He just looks really settled in right now. Yeah, follow the water. Yeah, I see what you're saying. You're saying here, Gallen is definitely not a number one guy, at least in the playoffs. And again, I think Gallen is amazing. All right, I love Zack Gallen. I almost went with him for my Cy Young pick this year, but then I made an audible at the end, and I think Gallen is really good. I just feel like he needs someone. But Phillies 31-59. I do think Nola keeps it going. He just looks really comfortable. Right, the guy's just out there. He threw under 90 pitches in Game 2. He just looks like he's settled in. It looks like he's very comfortable with his mechanics right now. The ball is coming out of his hand nicely. He's locating his pitches. Aaron Nola just looks very comfortable right now in the last few starts, and I do think he keeps it going. It's going to be up to the Diamondbacks to be able to try and scrape some runs across the board. Kelly, I expect him. You're looking at a start, maybe 3 or 4 runs given up by Kelly. Who knows? Maybe even more. With this Phillies offense right now, the way they're churning out runs, I think Kelly could be in for a tough start tomorrow. They've already gotten a look at him, but I think Kelly could end up throwing a pretty similar performance to Game 2, but it's going to be up to the Diamondbacks to scratch and claw. That's how they're going to have to do that to win this game and to stay alive. But again, Nola, he just looks really good right now. He looks fresh. He looks confident. He looks comfortable. I'm not counting the Diamondbacks out. The Diamondbacks are a really good come-from-behind team this year. 43 come-from-behind wins this year. That was 4th overall in Major League Baseball. We just saw them with, the comebacks in the last couple of games prior to tonight. You can't count the Diamondbacks out until it's over. Right, and I could see them winning Game 6. Everyone's already got the Phillies tabbed for a Game 6 win. I actually have a poll up as of right now. Let me know in the poll, what do you think? Or actually, did the poll get posted? I think it did. Where is that poll? Where is the poll? Did the poll ever get posted? Let me actually check. Okay, here's the poll. Here we go. So I have the poll here. Who wins Game 6? And right now, 83%, 109 votes, are going with the Phillies in Game 6. And that's not a surprise. That is not a surprise at all. It feels like the Phillies are going to be on their way to a World Series. I'm not counting the D-backs out, though. I'm not. I do expect another good game. Or I do expect a good game from Corbin Carroll. He looked a little more alive. here tonight, and we can actually go check here the exit velocity. So if we're looking at Corbin Carroll here, there was definitely a little bit more life in the bat here tonight. Yeah, not really a whole lot going on. Had to strike out, a couple of flyouts. He did have a single, but that came off the bat at 109 miles per hour. A couple of flyouts were over 95 miles an hour. So I think that could be a good sign. Maybe Corbin Carroll wakes up a little bit. Maybe he kind of steps up and he comes up with a big game in Game 6 to kind of keep the Diamondbacks alive. We'll have to wait and see. Hey, go back. Go back to 2001. Go back to 2001. I'll actually pull that up here. I'll pull that up. I know Diamondbacks fans, you're going to like this one. Here we go. I'm pulling this up. I mean, I know you got good memories of 2001. But hey, I'm just saying, this is a bit of a different scenario. But remember, 2001 up against the powerhouse Yankees. They were at the tail end of the dynasty at that point. But, hey, remember, Diamondbacks, they were down 3-2 in the series. The Yankees, breaking the hearts of Diamondbacks fans everywhere in Game 5. Had the walk-off in the 12th inning. Then the Diamondbacks came out. I know the Diamondbacks had Randy Johnson on the mound. I know Merrill Kelly is not Randy Johnson. I'm just saying here. The Diamondbacks, they came out and they scored 15 runs, and that was also at home, so you can't really compare the two. You don't got Johnson. You're not at home now. So, I don't know. They've done it before in a Game 6. They have done it before. Let's see if they can do it here. The odds are very much against them for Game 6. But, again, I will not count them out in Game 6 at all. So, everyone, I think that is all I really have here for tonight. I wasn't planning on doing a long stream. I really wasn't planning on having a lot of people in here tonight, honestly. We didn't even break 100 tonight. I'm okay with that. But we do have the Rangers and the Astros tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Nathan Eovaldi, Framber Valdez. I mean, right now I gotta lean Rangers here with Eovaldi. I didn't think the Astros would keep struggling at home in the postseason, but here we are, and they just keep on struggling at home. I mean, right now the odds look pretty good for the Rangers. Let's actually see what Fangraphs is saying here. They're actually giving the edge to Framber Valdez and the Astros at home. I don't know. I think Nathan Eovaldi, he's one of those stopper kind of guys. I'm just saying. I think the Rangers force a Game 7. That's just my personal opinion. We'll have to wait on that. But everyone, I'm out of here. I'm going to wrap this up. I didn't really want to do a long one here tonight. Just something quick. Just kind of give some thoughts. But everyone on the way out, if you can, please hit that like button for me. That will greatly help out for the people that want to see some post-game coverage. Hit the bell notification as well. That way you know I go live. And anytime I upload a video. And speaking of uploading a video, everyone, if you can, go check out the video that I posted today, the best Major League Baseball postseason performances of all time. I posted that a few hours ago. Go check it out. Go get yourself some historical postseason, get your postseason historical fix in that video. I did a top 10 list of the best postseason performances. Go watch it. Go share it. Make sure you leave a like on it. That always greatly helps. And make sure you leave a comment on it. Seriously, engage with the video. I like to reply to the comments, so go check it out. And let me know if you agree, disagree. Maybe I missed, maybe some moments. But before I do get out of here, everyone, I do just want to go over my pick'ems for tonight. Underdog Fantasy, the #1 stop for your daily fantasy needs. So tonight, I went with a couple of picks. I went with Marte having a decent game here. I was leaning Diamondbacks tonight. I was riding that Diamondbacks momentum, and that kind of just came up short. I did get right with Gallen getting at least 16.5 outs. I went with a Corbin Carroll single. He got that for me. Marte did fall short of the 7.5 fantasy points. Unfortunately, he couldn't keep the hot streak going. But tomorrow, if Semien gets me a single and Eovaldi pitches a good game, I will win myself some cash. So everyone, go check out Underdog Fantasy. Go make your pick'ems. And tomorrow, everyone, I know this is a baseball channel. But we got football on tomorrow. So go use my code. It's in the link. The link is in the description. Click that. Use my code at sign up. The code is high. You get a double on your deposit up to $100. I'm telling you, go try it out. That's a pretty decent deal if you ask me. But there's a ton of pick'ems for tomorrow. There's games all over the place tomorrow, so go check it out. But then, you know, obviously Major League Baseball as well. Again, I went with Nathan Eovaldi having a good game tomorrow. I have Semien waking up a little bit, getting at least a base hit. But go test it out yourself. And as always, please make sure you play responsibly. Everyone, I'm out of here. Thank you for joining me here tonight. It's always greatly appreciated. I will be back here tomorrow night to talk Astros Rangers. I'll see you then, everyone. Have yourself a great night, and I'll talk to you next time.